Okay, so I think we all know the feeling, right? Like you're going through your day totally swamped,
Oh, yeah.
work, the kids, errands, that never-ending to-do list that just seems to keep growing.
Hmm.
And somewhere in there, you're supposed to find time for yourself,
Yeah.
for self-care, right?
Right.
But like, what if those, you know, typical self-care things,
Hmm.
like bubble baths and face masks,
Yeah.
what if they're not really cutting it anymore?
Right.
What if you're kind of craving something, I don't know, a little deeper?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to like really unpack what it means to truly nourish yourself
Mm.
beyond just the surface level stuff.
It is interesting, actually, because I think self-care can get portrayed a lot as this, like, indulgent thing, this special treat.
Right.
But in reality, when you think about it, it's really those small intentional choices that you make, like every single day,
Right.
that really nourish you. And not just physically, right?
Yeah.
But like mentally and emotionally too.
Right. Right. Absolutely. It's about like building that foundation.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a foundation for your well-being. It's not just escaping from stress. It's about building something sustainable.
So it's not just about like, giving yourself a treat when you're already feeling totally overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the line, would you say, between like, I don't know, ordering takeout because you had a long day and just like really need a break versus like actually practicing true self-care?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And I think it's, using that takeout example is actually a perfect one.
Okay.
Because, if you're exhausted, you had a long day, and you know what? Sometimes takeout is just the answer.
Of course. Yeah.
But if takeout every single night is because you're kind of avoiding and neglecting that need to nourish your body,
Right. Right.
that might be a little bit of a signal
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean.
to kind of pause and check in.
Right. So it's about like the bigger picture.
Exactly.
It's about making choices that support you in the long run.
Exactly. So true self-care in that situation might be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to actually block off some time on Sunday and I'm going to look up some new healthy recipes that look really interesting to me. Or I'm going to find a meal delivery service,
That's a great idea. Yeah.
that does all the work for me, but actually uses whole foods and thinks about nutrition.
It's like being proactive, right?
Totally.
Instead of reactive.
It's about making choices that are in line with your long-term well-being.
Yeah. And not just like giving in to the easiest option in the moment,
Exactly.
which, let's be honest, can be very tempting.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're tired and you just like want to relax.
Yeah.
But what would you say is like the real cost of, not taking care of ourselves?
I think, neglecting self-care consistently can have these like ripple effects across your whole life.
Yeah.
All areas. You can think about it like when you're running on empty, your productivity is going to dip at work. Your relationships might start to feel a little strained.
Oh, for sure.
You're so much more susceptible to stress and burnout.
Right.
It's kind of like expecting a car to run smoothly without ever getting an oil change.
Yeah.
Eventually, something's going to break down.
Yeah. Okay. You've convinced me. Self-care is important.
Good.
But I think I know what our listeners are thinking right now.
What's that?
They're like, okay, I'm already stressed out. I'm already overbooked. How am I supposed to add one more thing to my plate?
Yeah.
So for that person, what would you say are some like really realistic, doable starting points?
Yeah. Well, and I think you're totally right. A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
But I think the beautiful thing about self-care is it doesn't have to be this big, grand, time-consuming thing.
Right, right.
Even tiny, small changes can make a huge difference.
So like what kind of small changes are we talking?
Like, what if you just started by incorporating a 15-minute walk into your day?
Okay.
And maybe while you're walking, you listen to a podcast that you love or an audiobook.
Oh, I like that.
We call that habit stacking. Like you're linking a new habit to something you already do consistently.
So smart.
And even like 5 minutes of journaling each morning. That's it. Just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Can help you kind of set your intentions for the day and cultivate that sense of gratitude.
That's a good idea. It really is about those little things, huh?
It is. It's the micro adjustments.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Love that idea of habit stacking. Now, I have a confession. Sometimes I like personally struggle with taking time for myself.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like guilty.
Oh, interesting.
Like I should be doing something else. Like being productive or taking care of other people.
Right.
Any advice on how to get over that?
That's so common.
Is it?
It is. And I think it's because we're so conditioned to, prioritize others, put others first.
Yeah.
And self-care can feel, I don't know, maybe a little selfish.
Right.
But I think a really good reframe is to think about it like, when you're taking care of yourself, you are actually way more equipped to show up for the people that you love,
That's true,
for
yeah.
the things that you care about.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's an act of self-respect.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it empowers you to give more generously to other people.
I love that reframe. That's so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know self-care is important, but how do we make it like a habit,
Yeah.
not just a one-time thing?
So I think creating rituals can be really powerful.
Okay.
Maybe it's something as simple as, like, every night you have a cup of tea,
Oh, yeah.
but you do it in silence,
Mm-hmm.
no phone, no distractions. Or once a week, you take a long bath,
I like that.
but you make it mindful.
Yeah.
No scrolling on your phone, no book.
Just being present.
Exactly,
Mhm.
being present. And these rituals, they become like these little anchors in your day
Yeah.
that remind you to slow down and reconnect with yourself.
That's beautiful.
And I think if you're finding it hard to, like, actually stay consistent, don't be afraid to, like, find an accountability partner.
Ooh, good idea.
Someone who understands your goals and will, gently nudge you if you're slipping a little bit.
That's a great idea.
And remember, it's not one size fits all.
Right.
You got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And adapt as you change and your needs evolve.
Absolutely, because we're all different.
Exactly.
This has been so insightful.
Good.
I feel like we've really gone beyond just the typical, bubble bath and face mask stuff.
Yeah.
And really gotten to the heart of what it means to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
To really thrive, mind, body, and soul.
Totally.
So listeners, here's something I want you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
What is one small but meaningful act of self-care
Yeah.
that you can commit to this week?
Good question.
Maybe it is starting that journaling practice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's trying a new recipe or setting a boundary that really protects your energy.
Good for you.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
you deserve to put yourself first.
You do.
And even those small steps, when you do them consistently,
Mm-hmm.
can lead to huge transformations in your life.
They do.
That's it for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It was fun
Yeah.
to talk about this.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.